This week on the 77% Street Debate.
I believe that men are the weakest being on earth.
I would say I'm independent. Does that bother you?
Yeah. Woman must be submissive.
Then even the husband in the home, we sometimes take care of them as babies. They are outside as bosses, but when they come home, they are babies.
We shouldn't allow Westerners to impose their cultural understanding of what a family is on us Africans.
My husband is not really a good cook, but I can really enjoy it when he fry me egg.
Oh, they're even holding hands. Let me tell you, we are feeling so single today on this set. Hello and welcome back to the 77% Street Debate. This week we are in Liberia's capital of Monrovia. Now you might be familiar with the expression strong African woman. In this country they certainly are, having had a female president in Ellen Sirleaf Johnson. But this strength in women is sometimes discouraged when it comes to romantic relationships, particularly in the African context. And today we want to find out why. Who better to answer this question for me than some Liberians? And we're going to start with the couple. On the panel, we have a couple. They're so loved up. Austin and Chantal, thanks for joining us. So let's start with the basic question of your day-to-day. When you wake up in the morning, give me a little clue about who does what in the morning. What's your morning routine like? Chantal, you're really smiling. Let me start with you.
Well, thank you. In the morning, I wake up around 5:30 and get my kid ready for school while he's there getting ready for work.
Okay, so would you say that your domestic responsibilities are sort of equally split between the two of you?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. But I mean, this is not something easy, right? A lot of couples have difficulties doing this, even in a modern world. Austin, how did you manage to strike this balance?
I think it comes more with the level of education I got before getting into the relationship. So I had to read a couple of books before getting married. I had to go through counseling for like 4 months, so it kind of prepared me. So basically, I'm able to wake up early morning and get hot water for the kids. I'm able to be bathing the little girl while she is preparing cocoa oats or something. So yeah, I think it's good and I enjoy doing it.
Abraham, where are you? I know that you have a biblical name and also an old-fashioned stance on the concept of equality in relationships. Tell me a little bit about that.
For me, I come with an African cultural background, and there are rules ascribed to men, both men and women. So if you know your responsibility, and you know your right, and you know your limit, we can have discussion, and these things can go on.
All right, so that I'm not assuming anything, tell me what these responsibilities are based on your roles. And by the way, we are keeping it strictly heteronormative for the purposes of this conversation, yeah?
So, for instance, I believe that most of the host choices in our African context are the responsibility of the woman, but the man can be of help.
Let me tell you, I'm laughing because the women behind me are really sighing. You started something, and I would like you to complete it, please. So you started by telling me women's responsibilities in a relationship, a heteronormative one, do all the house chores.
No, I said most of the most of the house choice is the woman's responsibility.
So what does the man do then?
In our Liberian setting, is the head of the home, and he actually is the one who provides security for the home, for the family. He's responsible to provide for the home.
Okay, Onekia, tell me what's going through your mind because you were twitching your fingers as he was speaking.
Yes. I mean, I was so excited because previously when we discussed, he was like, equality in relationship matters or so, and I was like, no. So now, actually hearing him defending what I stand for, that's why I'm even cheering him out. But the truth is, Liberia is a Christian nation, first day. So having a man and a woman in the home, there can be no equality.
So, okay, just for clarity, Onekia here definitely believes in the biblical roles assigned in Christianity. And so you think that the man is definitely the head and the woman should submit.
Yes.
All right. Tell me what you're thinking, Nowo. Nowo is a feminist and an activist.
Knowing that Liberia was set on the basis of patriarchy just explains why there saying these different things. But when you look at who set those rules, who gave the responsibilities of a woman taking charge of the home and doing the choices, you will know that the men set those rules, and which we believe were very biased, right? Because women's potential is way beyond just taking care of home. So I think there is a very big inequality based on the foundation of patriarchy that was set up in our society that sets our system to be very biased.
All right, I want to hear from some people at the back, right? Let me get some reactions. Come closer to me, please.
I don't want to enter a marriage as a young girl, coming to a house to just cook, take care of somebody, knowing that my responsibility is just to stick to the house. I want to be a lady to contribute to society. If Abraham can contribute, what about me?
Yeah. Okay, that's a good question that she's asked. Let's have somebody else here.
I'm a traditionalist. Now I stand against the issue of women having equal right with men in the home. And that is why I'm here in Monrovia to defend our culture. And women must be submissive. It never used to happen like that. The only reason why we have a feminist, we're having women activists, is because they have acquired education.
So would you rather they just stayed at home, weren't educated?
That's the role of a woman. They have to be home. They have to take care of the house, the house activities. That's it. That's tradition. That's our culture. Why is it that they should harmonize themselves? Why is it that they should adapt the other culture?
Okay, so quick question. I'm a woman here who's doing this job of asking questions and moderating. I would say I'm independent. Does that bother you?
Yeah. A woman in our African culture must not be independent. If you are independent in our African culture, then you are comparing yourself to the men in the village.
What if I told you that in my culture, women are actually the heads of the home?
That's your culture. In our culture, in our setting here in Nimba County, the women are very submissive.
Okay. Let's hear from the people who are snapping.
Yes, I believe that men are the weakest being on earth.
Men are the weakest beings on earth. Wow, okay.
So they use those rules to limit women. Because women can multitask. Women can be a professional person. They can be a housewife. They can be a family person. And men can't do that. So they limit that. They limit you to a extent that you are supposed to be in a particular position for you to enter in a marriage or relationship. It's not that way.
Yeah, okay. Just a second. Let me just bring this group back to order, yeah, so that we can get rooted back in our conversation. So there are a few issues that have been raised here, which I want to just check with. Yeah. The first one is that African culture dictates that the man is the head of the home. Sure, yeah. But this is not true across most African cultures. In fact, most of them are matriarchal. So what happens to your argument then, Abraham?
So
it might actually be argued that it is un-African to be patriarchal.
What we are saying is being taken out of context because, and no disrespect to feminists and other people.
I think you're about to disrespect.
No, no disrespect, but there is a responsibility assigned to somebody, and that does not take away me being a help or me being a partner to my fiancé, but our African culture, it says it assigns role to everyone. So that role should be respected. And we shouldn't allow Westerners to impose their cultural understanding of what a family is on us Africans.
Okay, so let me come back to the couple. Oh, they're even holding hands. Let me tell you, we are feeling so single today on this set. So when you hear some of these assertions, I can imagine that there must also be people in your family who also hold similar views.
The community says the lady should wake up and, wash the dishes. You, the man, you wake up, just get ready for work and move on. And then you start to follow that. I don't get it, why I should do that. So I wake up early morning, and what is going to shock people is that the man, you as a man, you benefit a lot if there's equality in the home. So I think we should have that. So I wake up and wash dishes. It's normal. It keeps us happy. Sometimes it's a lot funny too. Your mother comes to visit you, and then she sees you washing the dirty clothes. She's like, why is my son washing dirty clothes?
Okay. Yeah, so Chantal, let me hear from you. Did you get grief from the in-laws? You're making their son wash dishes. How dare you?
Let me say this. it's good to have a helping husband in the home. It's very, very good. It helps you relax. My husband is not ready or good cook, but I can really enjoy it when he fry me egg. I can really enjoy it when he fry me plantain. He's not ready or good cook, right?
Yeah. All right. Let me.
I want to come down real quick. Just in a minute. Even the Bible, I'm a Christian, she is. Even the Bible says you should submit one to another. Right. So it's not about the woman submitting to you, the man, but you guys got to submit to each other.
I have to come to Anekia back for that.
That place of submitting one to another is at the place where we talk about, and Sarah, let me just go back a bit. When Chantel was talking, she mentioned about my husband helping. So let's say, for example, if I have this task to do, and I call him a helper, that means it's actually mine, and he's only coming to fill in. But when it comes to the place of maintaining law and order in the home, there should be a head. And that is the reason why nationally we have presidents, right? At our various working places, we have bosses, right? So in the home, there should be a head.
Okay, so because you mentioned president, I mean, if this is your position, right? How did you feel when Liberia elected a female president? Did you feel it was out of pocket?
That shows that women could also lead, right? But it doesn't mean that as a president in her home, if she had one, it doesn't mean that because she's the president of the Republic of Liberia, so she's going to be the head of her home.
Okay. No, there's something that was mentioned regarding the choice of words, and I think Onekia explained it really well. The use of the word help. Chantal has said it again, my husband helps around the house. Are we using the correct language here? Because of what she said, it implies that the job is yours and somebody is just coming to assist.
Yeah, I think we're not using the right words because it's not help, right? I manage projects. And one thing I know about partnership is that you have two different people with different ideas and different backgrounds coming together to agree on something that they want to do and share similar values, right? And that's the same with partnership. So there's no one coming to help the other because they feel the other is down. So in that light, I would say, I go back again to say that society on its foundation, our society was being biased. And this is why you see education, he talk about Western people coming. Change is inevitable because of education, right? The things we knew 10 years ago have changed. The way we did things, we no longer do it, right? We've come to realize the potential of women, especially looking at us having a president, a female president, right? And looking at what she was able to achieve in her term and how she uphold the issue of equality and women's potential, not just in Liberia, but regionally and as well globally, to tell you that women have more potential and not just horse choices and having men come to.
Okay, let me hear from Magdalene for a second because we haven't spoken to her. I just want to investigate this idea of the head of a home because Norwu has talked about partnerships. In a contemporary world that we live in today, do we still need that classical head of a home?
Well, I have no interest in relationship anymore. It is because of what I went through when I was in relationship. So I had to quit 2019 because I had an abusive partner, overly protective, and he was very abusive. So I went through it. I held my God like king. I have to wake up in the morning and put socks, put boxer, and run it all behind him.
Wait. I need to understand this. What do you mean? Put socks, put what? What?
Help him dress up in the morning.
Like a child?
Yeah. Of course. But I went extra mile in, helping to keep my relationship.
Okay. And I have a question for you. As you were treating him as a king, as you're saying, which by the way, absolutely, was he treating you as a queen?
Well, he was abusive. He was really abusive. So it has actually made me to lose interest in having relationship. And when I see people like, couples, and I feel like they're not being true to each other.
Yeah. Okay, so obviously not all relationships which have that dynamic will end up in abuse, yeah? Let's just be clear about that. However, It can, because there's a power dynamic there that has not been addressed. So how do you navigate that?
So for me, people always put or have a negative connotation when it comes to head of home. We're not saying that the woman should be the one to dress you. It's not the woman's responsibility to dress you. If that is happening, that's abuse. Knowing your roles is different from being abused.
Okay, because you keep coming back to roles and responsibilities, right? Yes. And a question was asked, who gets to decide what the roles and responsibilities are? It's the head of the home. In this case, according to your argument, the man. How do you know when you're taking it too far?
So we live in a society, and we have our African culture. So that's what I said, you need to know your right. That's the first thing I said. If you know your right, you can be in a relationship and you have values. So if someone is going against your value, that's a no-no. I'm saying that there are ascribed rules for men and women in a home, and I hold that very clearly.
Okay, I mean, that's your position, and that's perfectly fine. We've heard many things, right? Including the traditionalist who thinks that women shouldn't even be educated, right? These are realities in this country. So what are the consequences of such extreme viewpoints, right? We've seen, in your case, unfortunately, abuse. What are some of the consequences in your society, Noel?
Yeah, of course. I was just going to point that up. The issue of abuse, the issue of violent communication is then going to generate and get another generation of young people that will be very violent in their different actions.
All right.
I have two girls, very brilliant one, right? They are in school. But my point is, if you are saying that women should be equal, why you ask the men to pay your dowry? Why you ask the men say, I won't marry? Why? Everything's about the man. When you go to the wedding and say, come pay the dowry, right? So why can't you pay the man dowry? Since you want equality, pay the dowry. Then we know you have seen something, yeah? So if you pay the man dowry, then we know that you want equality. But once the man is paying your dowry, he's not saying you are a slave, but you must honor his control.
Let me hear from Chantal, because if bride price has been paid, then technically you're under his control. Do you agree with this or not?
Well, he has to pay money for his wife. That doesn't mean that the wife should be under while you are on top. The both of you should be equal. Because the both of you are going to make your home better, or better place, not a hustle ground.
Okay. Lisa, I want to hear from you, because the question of bride price, is it time to perhaps get rid of some of these traditions if they are getting in the way of quote-unquote progress?
I think it's time. There's no other time than now. Because the issue he raised, he used a word, control. Are we in a state that women should be quote-unquote controlled? Is it that men are losing their masculinity? Where is the power situated in the home? Is it resting on one person's shoulder? A man will tell you, I am the man in this home. The moment he says that, he loses his masculinity because he has no power. For the fact that you're talking about, I have the control over this, I want to do this, I want to do that, I should do that, you lost it. Because the point you're talking to come through is the fact that woman has a level of understanding. She knows what you need to do. She knows what she wants to do. So if you are standing in the way, that's the time you make the announcement, I'm the man here. Because you feel she has taken up the step to be who she wants to be. But is he afraid? The inferiority complex will kill men in this place. They will actually bring them down to their grave because they will not understand where they put their inferiority complex.
We do have to wrap up at some point. And Magdalene, I do want your opinion on this. When it comes to the professional space, we are talking about an inferiority complex here. Lisa alluding to men perhaps feeling small, which is why they need to assert themselves overly. But what does it do to women in a professional space when domestically at home, your husband or your father keep telling you, this is your place, this is your place? Can you fully participate in society then?
It reduces your output, it limits you, and it makes you to have no confidence in yourself. And I can tell you, when I was going through all of those abuses, my output wasn't good at all. When I go to work, I transfer aggression I wasn't happy. I wasn't myself. Right now, I feel good. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really glad that you're feeling much better now, and really thank you for sharing. So as we conclude, the traditionalist has left us, but oh, he's here. We had a question at the beginning of this debate, which was, why are strong women feared so in relationships? And we've had quite a number of viewpoints here. The question now to conclude is there a reason to change that dynamic? Should we go back to our old ways? Should we continue as we are? Is there a need to even standardize? And why? Let me hear from, I am so afraid to bring the microphone to you, but let's hear your points.
It's a need that we go back to our tradition. And the only reason why we are having this debate here is because we have examined ourselves, we have adapted to the Western culture. And that is what our women are raising their heads. They are raising their voice. It never used to happen when we were in our tradition, when we were particulars in that. It never used to happen. Our women were submissive. But the Western culture now have changed everything. And that is why we are having the debate, and that is why you have feminists, and that is why you are educating our women, you are spoiling them in the home. You are spoiling them in the home.
Okay, so let me just... Are you working, for example, and you must have female bosses? How do you respond to that?
Having a boss being a female is kind of complicated because I really don't see her being submissive. Sometimes she just responds on how to men, and that is not how it's supposed to be. So, women being a boss, they can be very abusive to men.
Oh. Okay, I honestly cannot believe that I am hearing these words in 2023, but I mean your viewpoint. Let me get one last one here.
Men are built with ego, and because of the ego they have in them that they were born with, I don't know if it's nature. That's why they tend not to accept certain things. You know, there's even in the womb when the lady is making higher income than the man, he feels belittled, or without even the lady doing anything, he feels like, no, I'm the one who's supposed to make higher income than her. So push us forward, because when women are in power, when women are educated, when women are learned, the society becomes better. Because come on, we carry children in our wombs for 9 months, which is huge. So I mean, we understand relationship because we bond with them for 9 months. When they come outside, we bond with them. And even their husband in the home, we sometimes take care of them as babies. They are outside as bosses, but when they come home, they are babies. Men should support women, then we can be able to make the home and the society better.
All right. Let me hear from this gentleman who's been trying to speak with me the entire time. Let's hear your viewpoints.
According to the biblical account, woman is there to love, honor, and respect and take care of the home. But woman being now educated, seeing herself like bringing money, so they won't respect the man anymore. They won't have that type of love again anymore because they feel that they are earning just like the man.
But you're seeing Chantal here being super loving, and she has a job and she's educated.
I'm not saying woman can work. That's not my point. My point is that she must still have the respect. She should still carry on her duty as a woman in a home.
All right, so let's draw our attention back here. I now want to get closing remarks. Normally at this point of the debate, I would be asking people for solutions. But after hearing all the diverse opinions, I'm not sure that there is such a thing as solutions. And so let's find out what your closing remarks are as a panelist. We'll finish with you guys. Let's start here.
Despite a woman contributing in the home, it doesn't give her right that she and that man, they are built equally, right? So for me, I believe we just need to go back to our Christian norms since we were built on Christian foundation. And many of us that despite being a feminist or whatever, giving different views, we are Christians.
All right, Abraham.
Westerners will want us to accept everything they bring to us, and we should disregard ours. And I'm against it. Let's sit down. Men that understand that women should not exist or women should not be leaders, we can sit and have a conversation. Feminists that agree that women should be equal 50-50, we can sit and have a conversation. And only conversation will take us forward.
All right, so more dialogue. I like that. From this side, let's hear some concluding remarks.
We need to break systems that will limit women. We need to work on systems that will put women behind. We cannot have our tradition, our culture, suppressing women, keeping it as a barrier, as a barricade, that women cannot move beyond this. Because it's a position, you must exist in it. So I think the legal framework conversation will help us.
Okay, and finally, we started with a couple. I'd like to end with them. We've heard so many viewpoints here. Do you think that the kind of relationship that the two of you have, which some people might see as aspirational, is under threat?
When you wake up in the morning as a man getting ready for work, when you stand before that mirror, just see a human being. When you see your wife, see a human being. Treat her that way. Men, you are going to be happy if you bring the woman to that equal point. You're going to be happy. People think most of the time they see us, we are smiling on Facebook, so they think that we have a good relationship on Facebook. But beyond Facebook, we are really good, and we've been good for 5 years. No complaint, not to anybody, because we are just equal. And we have disagreement on ideas. And who should win or who is the head? It depends the idea that we're pushing. Whoever pushes the better idea, we go by that. So I think it's going to be good for all of us.
Thank you. That is a beautiful place to wrap this debate. We have heard some very controversial remarks today, but also what a nice way to wrap it up. Think first and foremost of your partner as human. Thank you guys for watching.